When the years of the Great Silence were ended, the Illuminator walked again amongst the hills and trees of Iberis. From the verdant soil sprouted fox and badger, rabbit, squirrel, and all manner of creatures. Over these, the Illuminator appointed immortal keepers. Chief amongst the keepers was Leporidae. Into the rabbit kind, Leporidae poured all of himself, and his people flourished mightily. Leporidae knew that there were none amongst the keepers which might stand before him and his people, for he was now likened to the Illuminator in his own heart and mind. Seeing the great imbalance, the Illuminator returned to Iberis and struck down the prideful god, shackled him with a terrible curse. For every generation, the Illuminator would call upon Leporidae to purge his own with war, famine, or plague. The Great Culling. To protect his children, Leporidae would raise a seed, a chosen one amidst the rabbit kind, to ensure not all would be consumed in the coming wrath.
Tell me, Oxalis, what word do our scouts in the west bring?
Meadow Peak has fallen. Nothing stands between us and Nightshade's army now.
How is this possible? Do we not have enough to fear with wolf and fox? Now rabbit kind rises against itself.
It is clear Nightshade has set his eyes upon us. We will send an envoy to meet them, to discuss terms.
We can only pray they hear our demands. Perhaps there's still time to resolve this peacefully.
Demands? Does the robber hear the demands of the worm? Nightshade negotiates with a blooded blade in hand. Ain't negotiating at all.
The Angorans of Highgrove negotiated, and were spared.
Filthy merchants. Showing their bellies and opening their coffers. Just makes it harder for the rest of us.
What of the Hares of Stormbreak? Might they come to our aid? They have never been defeated.
The Hares will remain locked in their fortress, and let all of Iberis burn around them. No, my love. This burden is Moonbriar's. I will lead the envoy. Oxalis will lead the guard. It's all we can do now.
I'm telling you, this envoy will be for naught. Nightshade won't rest until the culling is complete.
This isn't the culling, Oxalis.
What about the promise? If there is a culling, there must be a seed.
What if Nightshade isn't lying? What if he is the seed? As long as he lives, there can't be another.
He is not the seed. Cannot possibly be. The seed restores rabbitkind. Nightshade is hell-bent on destroying it.
Debating old prophecies will not help anyone right now. We must prepare the envoy.
I suppose it don't matter. Moonbriar is my home. I'll die with blade in hand. Seeds and cullings be damned.
Mama?
Fern, what have I told you about listening in on me and your papa? You should be asleep, like your brother and sister.
I've been in bed this whole time. Promise. I was just thirsty.
Oh, really? You didn't hear anything?
What's a crulling?
Always the curious one, aren't you?
Do you remember last harvest, when we found those crows in the granary?
Their bellies were so full of seeds, they couldn't even flap away.
Everyone was so angry, because we'd worked hard all year to store seed for the winter, and they were gobbling it all up. We couldn't get them to leave.
Uncle Oxalis wanted to get him with his sword.
That's right. Lots of folks did. But do you remember what you did, Fern? That's right.
They were flapping around and squawking, and Papa was yelling.
But you were so brave. You knew just what you were doing. And sure enough, those old crows flew off and we haven't seen them since. Have we?
Nope. Guess they learnt their lesson.
Such a brave kid. Any time you are worried, just remember how you faced down those crows.
But Mama, I'm really scared.
Hush, sweet child. You don't need to be scared.
Fern, you will always be Papa's brave girl. Remember, you can always draw on your moon sign for strength. Now, tell me, do you remember which moon sign you are?
Hey, Fern.
I can't play today, Hedge Nettle. Papa says Nightshade is going to be here soon. I have to help Mama make the bandages in case there's a battle.
I know. That's why I'm practicing. I've got to be ready to fight Nightshade.
But he has an whole army. Biggest army there's ever been.
I don't need to fight his whole army, just him. My dad says his army's like a scree snake. We just need to chop off the head. Then everybody will be safe.
But you don't know how to fight snakes. Or anything.
I've watched the Bucks training since I was a kid. And I found this sword behind Coneflower's smithy.
Nettie, we're still kids. That's what grown-ups are for. Besides, that's just a wooden practice sword.
It'll still thump good. I'm gonna sneak onto Dar's wagon when they go to meet with Nightshade. Then I'll jump out and get him. So what do you say? You want to help me save Moonbriar or not?
My papa is going too. He promised me they'll be home safe. Uncle Oxalis won't let anything happen to them, so there's nothing to worry about. No one can beat Oxalis.
I've got to try, Fern. I'm gonna be a warrior someday. Even better than Oxalis. They'll need me. That's a great idea. Go and grab it, quick.
And you'll teach me how to use it like you do.
You don't have to worry about that. With a real sword, I know I'll get him. When we get back, I'll teach you everything I know. I'll always be here to protect you.
Oxalis, you've returned so soon. Where is Bayleaf?
Orcha was a trap. All of it. They agreed to talk proper, and we all disarmed. Soon as we began, others came in with swords. We fought bravely, right to the end.
Oh, gods! Bayleaf! How could they do this? Why would they do this?
Try to get yourself together. Nightshade's army's only a day's march now. There'll be no fighting. We'll open the gates. Maybe they'll spare putting Moonbriar to the flame.
Oh, I don't understand. How did you escape?
I fought hard, and they let a few of us go. To warn the rest. Said that if we resisted, they'd kill everyone. Even the young ones. Leave them out for the crows to peck.
How am I going to tell the kids about their father? Who will protect them when Nightshade is here?
God, I'm so sorry, Orcha. I couldn't protect your mate. But I swear on my life, I will protect you and the kids.
Hedgenettles, stop, please! Why won't you tell me what happened? Who did this to your face?
He's coming, Fern. Nothing will stop him. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
I don't want to run or hide. This is my home, and your home. Have you seen my papa yet? Mama won't come out of her room. She's frightening me.
Nightshade said I was the message. Then he gave me...
Where is everyone? Where is Papa?
They aren't coming back, Fern. Ever. I had the sword you gave me, but I couldn't even swing it at him. I was so frightened. He killed them. All of them.
No! Nutty! No! That can't be! Not Papa! Not my Papa!
I tried to stop him. I really did. He did this to my face. And then Nightshade He cut off. Dar's blood was all over me.
No! No! Nutty! He said he would be back! He promised me. Where? Where did he put my Papa?
I'm sorry. I couldn't protect my Dar. Or yours. Or Moonbriar. None of us could. I don't even know if I can protect you. But I promise I will try. No matter what happens.
My friends, ours is a bleak history. A tale of hardship, of death, of division. A cycle, we are told, of the Illuminator's own design. To hold all life in balance, in harmony. Tell me, friends, does the fox suffer such discordant cycles? The badger? Are the daughters of Ivthos ravaged with cullings? No. No. It is only rabbit kind the Illuminator saw fit to crush beneath his heel. Do you know why? Because the others fear us. They fear our numbers, our cunning, our industriousness. But most of all, they fear our unity. Divided, we are weak, persecuted by all of Iberis, by the very land itself. Floods and famines, pestilence and predation. No longer. I am Nightshade. I am the last seed. The cycle is broken. The era of rabbit kind has begun. Now is the time for peace, for unity. for obedience.
Ah, Fern. There you are. I've been looking for you.
Can't chat, Mama. Hedge Nettle's waiting for me at Tully's Tavern. Don't worry, I'll be back in time for dinner.
Your friends can wait. Ragwort's warband raided Stormbreak again last night. Your brother Wolfbury is safe, thank the gods. Ragwort and others were wounded. I fear Perrin and Aspen were returned to the soil. May Tash guide them home.
Gods, Wolfbury was fighting again. You promised you'd talk to Nightshade about leaving him behind. He doesn't belong on the battlefield.
And you do?
I've bruised and battered almost every one of the bucks in our warband since we were kids. If you hadn't stole my practice sword, I'd probably be the best fighter in our whole clade.
Hush, child. I never stole your sword. The gods know you're perpetually losing things. And really, must we speak of this again? You're not a warrior. Your place is by my side. Now I need your help. Ragwort's wound needs tending.
Ragwort is a monster. I can't heal him.
Ours is not to judge, child. Leporidai sees all, sorts all. You will tend to Ragwort. This is your opportunity to prove you are more than just an acolyte, but a true mender. Now go. Speak with Piper about a poultice. I believe she went out to the woodlands to gather herbs. Return home when you are done. We will speak more on this when your work is complete.
Hey, Fern.
Hey sis, running errands for Mum.
Uh-huh. Well, mostly. I'm also looking at dyes. You wouldn't believe it. Mole showed me the most brilliant silver. They make it from the dust of a glimmerstone. Can you believe a rock could be beautiful? Anyways, I love it. If I get some, I'll call it Ivthos. Like the wolf's eyes. Well, one of his eyes. Can you spare 5 coppers for it? Pretty please? I'd love you forever, and promise I'd pay you back. Promise.
Here you go. Tell Mole to give you a better deal next time. Speaking of dyes, how's the Great Hall mural coming along?
You're the best, Fern. Thank you. The mural? It's done. Well, it's almost done. I'm working on something else right now. It's going to be beautiful.
Something else? I thought Nightshade wanted the mural done before the Conclave. That's tonight.
I know, but there's this bare patch of wall by the library, and I thought if I showed Asta,
You thought what?
you know, that maybe if I showed her what I could do, she could...
Listen to me. I know how much it means to you, but it's not Asta's choice. They aren't bringing back the muralist.
But if she sees...
No! I'm sorry. I shouldn't have raised my voice. You must listen to me, see. Remember what happened to Arcturus.
Hey! What are you two whispering about? What did you just say?
We were having a conversation. You're not a part of it. So why don't you just leave us alone?
You've got a big mouth, girlie. Lucky I don't smash it in. I'm part of any conversation I want to be part of. You hear me?
Oh, I've got a big mouth. You're the one out here flapping your jowls and taunting children. Some great warrior you are.
You're the one who...
Whatever you say. Now, if you don't mind, we'll be going.
I can't believe you just said that, Fern. Gods, you're so brave.
I'm sure Mum would say it was just stupid.
I'm going to add him to my mural. Paint him with a pig snout. Everyone visiting the library will see what a beast he is.
No pig snout and no library painting. Just keep your head down and finish the painting before Conclave. I don't need both of us getting in trouble over an oaf like hogweed. Promise me you'll go straight home.
Oh, yes, I promise.
Thanks, sis. I'll see you soon, okay?
I was alone, Wolfberry, in the mouth of Stormbreak. A pack of vicious hares surrounded me, but I was ready. I raised my sword and dropped into a fighting stance.
You were alone?
What? Oh, yes. The rest of the band was locked up along the way, fighting at the gates. But I pushed on.
You and Perrin? He led the final charge.
Led? Who told you that? Hornbeam? I matched Perrin every stride. Over the first rampart, through that mess of brambles, then we were inside, nearly. And...
They closed ranks.
Hares are mad. Oxalis always said so, but until you see it yourself... Gods. They burn Hethra before battle. Did you know that? Breathe in the red smoke. Wild eyes, foaming mouths, like...
They drew you in and cut you off. Nothing mad about that.
I stood my ground. Held what we gained for Moonbriar.
Just you and Perrin, holding the Thorngate yourself.
Yes. Well, I'm sure it's what any Moonbriar rabbit would have done.
It's not what I would have done.
Shouldn't be too hard on yourself.
I would have pulled back and reinforced the position at the outer wall.
What?
Well, that was the plan, wasn't it? Breach the outer wall and hold it until the entire warband could get through. Not charge headlong. Heedless.
Retreat? After what we'd sacrificed to get there? We were finally in the entrance, ready to charge their great hall and pull that cobby barbarian from his throne. You wouldn't understand. You weren't in the thick of it. Oh, hey Fern. You made it.
Wouldn't miss it for all the gold in Highgrove. You hear singing your own war tales?
Well, it was not that really. Any brave Moonbriar buck would have done the same. That's not what I meant. There are different kinds of bravery, Fern. Some are brave on the battlefield. Some are brave in other ways.
Other ways?
You know, like Beowulf the Brave.
Ah, Beowulf the Brave, dashing across the battlefield, ducking arrows and stones, binding wounds and mending broken limbs.
Yes! I knew you wouldn't forget. It was always your favourite story, wasn't it?
Poor Beowulf, cleaning up the messes the brave bucks made, and would make again and again. Have to wonder if she got knocked on the skull herself, eh? Beowulf the Bonked?
No, I mean, it wasn't a mess today. Is that what you think? Well, it wasn't supposed to be, leastways.
Sorry. Didn't intend to start a row. I've never doubted your bravery, you know that. It's just...
It's okay. Next time we'll take Stormbreak. For Perrin and all the others.
Then what?
Then things can go back to the way they used to be, I suppose. Oh, right. Almost forgot. I brought you this necklace I found.
Where did you get this? If it's from the battle, I can't accept it.
But I got it for you.
I'm sorry. I need to go.
Right. I suppose I should be going too. I'll see you around, Fern.
Well, that was a bit awkward, wasn't it? I think you just broke the poor fellow's heart.
I don't have the slightest idea what just happened. What in all of Moonbriar would possess Nettie to give me something like that?
Really? You have no idea? I mean, granted, it's not the most romantic gesture, sharing the spoils of war, but hedge nettle is tuft over tail for you, sis.
A romantic... What? Are you insane?
By the gods, I have no idea how you can be so smart and so dense all at once. He's been fond of you since you were kids. Always has been.
Don't get me wrong. I love Nettie. He's been there for me as long as I can remember. Best friend anyone could ever ask for. But right now, I've got too many things to think about. Too many things to worry about. Who has time to find a mate?
Well, listen. Hedge nettle is my friend too. The gods know he's defended me from the other bucks 100 times over. But you should know he can sometimes be swayed by ragwort and nightshade. He's a real warrior on the battlefield, no fear. But when it comes to pressure, I've seen cornstalks with stronger spines.
I've noticed that too. I know that he means well and has the best of intentions though. But I've got to run. I'm supposed to be helping with the wounded. If Mama knew I was here chatting with you at Tully's.
I'll see you around, sis.
Oh, Fern. How lovely to see you.
Cousinia, I'm surprised to see you here. I thought that after...
After... I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about, dear.
When I saw you at Mother's on the Harvest Moon, I thought... Well, I feared the worst.
Well, that's ever so touching that you would think of me. Though I confess to being a smidge bemused that everyone fusses over me so. I doubt that any other doe's moon cycles are so frequent a topic of discussion around the drinking well.
Yes, well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to pry. It's just that as... Well,
Nightshade's consort? No need to tiptoe around it. And in any case, I wasn't visiting your mother for me. It was for Salvia, poor thing. She's been struggling.
Salvia? What happened to Salvia?
Oh, but I've said too much already. I just wish your mother had been willing to help her.
There must be some mistake. Mother would give the last scrap of cloth off her back to help anyone.
Yes, well, I'm afraid that a scrap of cloth wouldn't help much. Salvia is suffering so. Breaks your heart to see it.
Suffering from what?
No, I'm afraid I just cannot say. Poor thing is fragile as snowdrops in a spring thaw as it is. If she knew her secret were out. Shame, it will get out eventually, since your mother won't provide her with the medicine she needs. But I'm sure she has her reasons.
If she wouldn't provide the medicine, I'm sure it was for a good reason. There has to be some sort of misunderstanding.
A good reason? Well, yes. I'm sure it was a good reason, from her point of view. But that doesn't much help poor Salvia now, does it? That won't stop her fits or her...
She's having fits?
I really shouldn't say. She's so ashamed. Not as if any of it is her fault, though, is it? They say that a bit of carp root and suckleberry mixed in just the right proportion will stop it.
If Mother didn't give them to you, she must have had her reasons.
Yes, so you said. And so she said. It's just a shame that her hatred of me is hurting Salvia. I've learned to accept that the other does fear and envy me. It makes for a lonely life, but I understand it. But Salvia, she wouldn't strike a gnat.
Well, perhaps I can speak to Mother. We'll see.
Would you? Truly? I would be forever in your debt. But please, you must swear you will not tell a soul it was I who told you. Dear Salvia would be mortified. And I don't want to anger Nightshade by speaking out of turn.
I promise.
Another bloody loss! How much longer you think it will be till Nightshade is fed up with your schemes?
It would have worked if everyone had followed the plan. There's a second entrance. It's hidden, but I'm sure it's there. We could have slipped in the back if they'd been forced to send all of their warriors to the main entrance.
You saying this is our fault?
Well, I'm sure there were circumstances, things that made it difficult to,
Where were you in all this? Didn't see you swinging a blade. Didn't see you holding the thorn gate. Just hiding in the shadows, blaming better bucks for your failures.
You know Ragwort won't let me near the front lines.
Oh, so now it's Ragwart's fault. Let's get him over here and see what he says about that. Hey, Ragwort!
No, it's not Ragwart's fault.
You owe me a cask of mead.
For what?
Mead, you little fool. The only thing those heirs do right. But I don't have any mead, do I? You know why that is? Because someone screwed up. I know it wasn't me. And you're saying it wasn't Ragwort. So who was it? Huh? You're so clever. Tell me that. You've had Ragwarts here long enough. I say we go back to fighting like we used to. Enough of your maps and plans and schemes. Enough tricks.
There's a hidden entrance. I'm sure of it. We just needed to,
Oh, say it one more time. Just one more time.
What's going on?
Hello, Fern. Nothing. We're just catching up on the day's events.
Well, look who it is. Little sis, here to save the day again. Gods, I'm getting sick of seeing you. That mother of yours won't be around forever, you know. And when she's gone... Let's just say, I have a long list of things we're all gonna discuss.
Why do you put up with that?
Hogweed? I just let him ramble on until he smells a pie or sees Tully tapping a keg. Then he forgets all about me.
Not just hogweed, all of this. You could join Mother as a mender, or the farmers. I know Sola would find a place for you in the fields. Just find something more suited to...
More suited to what? A weakling like me? Well, go ahead and say it. I know that's what you were thinking.
That's not what I meant. We just worry about you.
I appreciate that. I really do. But I'm right where I need to be. Killed? Yes, without my little sister there to protect me.
I never heard you complain when I thumped Bartwood for hiding your walking stick. Or when I shoved Sage Pepper into the well for trying to pin your ears back.
Fern, you know I'll always love you for how you've stood up for me all these years. But we're not kids anymore. I'll never be as strong or as brave as you. This is all I can do. This is how I survive this place.
I wonder how many more rabbits will have to die before you realize there's more to you than just being one of Nightshade's lackeys. I guess I'll see you around.
Hey, Fern. What are you doing out this late?
Late? What are you talking about?
You remember what happened to Paley's, the disobedient kid? Hey? Used to hide under your mother's chair when I get to the bit where the fox gobbles them all up.
Oxalis. It's midday.
You'd cover your eyes in her skirt every time. Cutest little thing. Your big eyes staring out waiting for me to get to the bit about the fox. Remember that?
Yes, I always said Paley should have helped the fox with his paw. Then he would have let Paley's go free.
Aye, I did. Simpler times, love. Simpler times.
Does Tully know you've been tapping his barrels again?
Reminds me of your dad, those big eyes do. Just like his. Should get back inside, Fern. Before it gets dark.
Oh, Fern. Hello.
I don't think I've ever seen you out here.
I was just picking violets to make a bouquet.
Salvia, those are dandelions.
Dandelions? Oh, I suppose they are. It's been so long since Nightshade has let me... I mean, so long since I've been able to come out here. On my own and all. Well, not alone, exactly. Foxglove is here to watch over me. This is as close to Meadow Peak as I am allowed. From here, it almost feels like home.
You can't visit your father or your home. I just assumed as Nightshade's ward that you could do whatever you pleased. I could talk to my mother, you know. People listen to her. Even Nightshade.
No! I mean, no, thank you. I'm just a simple rabbit, but I know there are dangers in the world. Someday, I'll find a protector of my own. Someone to keep me safe. Keep me company. Someone? No! Oh, no, that's silly. I just meant, you know, that someday, maybe.
It's okay. You don't have to tell me unless you want to.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't even know I exist.
He? And would this he happen to have a name?
No? Well, yes, he does. But if anyone found out, if you know who found out?
You don't have to say anymore. I won't tell anyone. Your secret is safe with me. Whoever he is, he would be lucky to have someone like you.
Thank you, Fern.
And Salvia, things won't always be like this. I promise.
Well, aren't you a long way from home? Surely you're not out here looking for herbs too?
Hello, Piper. I need...
Oh, you need something? Well, dip me in the moss flow and call me a sylvan fish.
Excuse me?
What is it this time? Scrape a paw in another scuffle? Or perhaps one of your friends drank too much nettle wine and needs a tincture to settle their stomach again?
The warriors have returned. One of them is injured, maybe more. Mother says you're preparing a poultice.
Chief Mender Orcha. She's so much more than your mother, you know. And yes, I heard the warriors have returned. I don't know why you trouble the Chief Mender so. She just wants what's best for you. For all of us. Did you think you two were quiet? I think everyone in the Warren has heard that conversation at least once. But never mind. We need to make a lamb's foot poultice. It's said that Cadus was the first to discover lamb's foot's healing properties, but it was only when Greymane added agaricus root.
I don't have time for another lecture, Piper. Please, just prepare the poultice.
And when will be a good time? Perhaps when our Chief Mender has returned to the soil and you wear Tash's sign? There's beauty in the Mender ways, Fern.
I know there is beauty in the Mender's ways. It's just that... Well, I don't have time for this right now, Piper. I need to be focused on healing Ragwort.
Very well. I used up the last of my lamb's foot. Do you have any?
Yes, I have some right here.
Wonderful. I'm very pleased to see you so well prepared. Perhaps Tash will...
I do my best.
You know, if you are to become the Chief Mender, you really do need to learn how to make these poultices. Watch me closely now.
I know, it's just, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing these days. I want to help Moonbriar, but these battles, the killings, I don't know.
The world is a complicated place, true. But we have a responsibility to our Warren. Moonbriar needs you, Fern. Do you remember when you mixed your first salve? Belzal's whiskers. You balanced the currant and ground pheasants back with perfect precision. The Chief Mender was so proud.
I remember. I also remember simpler times, when good was truly good and evil was evil. Now we're tasked to heal those who attack other Warrens.
We are Menders. All deserve our care, regardless of their sins. This is how we serve our Warren, and how we serve Tash.
Perhaps there's more than one way to serve the Warren.
How many Menders have we seen come and go under the Chief Mender's tutelage? None have learned as quickly as you, and with so small an effort. Tash has favored you with his wisdom. I beg you, do not spurn his gift. Watch your words, Fern. Tash has provided for us a harmonious social order, if only we embrace our place within it.
You forget, Piper, that we read the holy text together at Mother's knee. It says nothing of does and bucks, nothing of the social order. In fact, verse 47 reads,
You would use the holy words against me. Use Tash's wisdom as a weapon? To beat me over the skull like
Ragwart's stove in Birch Needle's head.
I don't know what you are talking about.
Fine. Then perhaps you remember when Nightshade adorned the Great Hall with Greenthorn's head, Sorrel's paws, and the Bard's tongue. Or there was that business in Endia, the uprising. I know you haven't forgotten what those thugs did to the young bucks after they surrendered. Remember how that little one looked when they dragged him from his mother, paws clutching at her skirts. He called out for her, and she called out to Tash. And what was the response? What was our response? We healed Hogweed's bruised ribs. That was our response. As the holy text says, Tash's will made manifest through the healing paws of his humble servants.
Do not dare to question his wisdom!
It's not his wisdom I question.
Please, heal Ragwort's wound. I know the officers always meet in Nightshade's court. We will speak more of this later. I have to go.
Hey, Fern. Finally decided to get your hands dirty, eh? I always took you for a sewer.
And go through life with grassy knees and muddy paws like you.
Well, we can't all play with herbs all day. Someone has to grow the stuff, you know.
Yes. Well, that's why I'm out and about. I needed a salve.
Huh. A healing salve. Why would you need that? Wouldn't have something to do with that raid last night, would it?
Afraid so. Ragwort was wounded.
Let the beast die of the rot, I say. Let more die of the rot.
Sola, keep your voice down. Hensbane has eyes and ears everywhere.
Well, the great thing about eyes and ears is they can be poked out and lopped off.
I can't just let him die, Sola. Mother is sending me with the poultice. You know I'm supposed to become the next chief mender after all.
Perhaps your poultice is missing another ingredient? They say there's a mushroom that grows deep in the warren. A single paw-full of spores is all it takes.
I've sworn an oath to Tash, Sola. Besides, I don't know anything about mushrooms, especially poisonous ones.
I know someone who could teach you. I'll see them tonight, at our gathering. Well, come along and I'll introduce you.
After what happened to Marthistle, you know, I just assumed.
That I'd give up? We're not kids anymore, Fern. We can't let the elders sort it all out. If we want a better world, we need to shape it ourselves.
I know, and I wish I could, really. But I can't risk it. Maybe someday.
I hope we'll still be here when you're ready. Listen, we've always been good friends. I want you to promise you'll come. Just once. Just hear us out.
Really? You're going to guilt me into coming along?
Guilt you? No. Come on. Think of it as a favor to one of your oldest friends. I promise I won't bother you about it anymore. See? Was that so hard? I promise it'll be okay. We're careful.
You better be.
Tell Ragwort I hope he dies at the Withering Box.
Where's Orcha?
Orcha sent me to tend your wound.
Wasn't a request, whelp. Fetch her now, or I'll send Hogweed. Crots.
Listen, I'm just trying to help. I know if your wound isn't tended soon, my mother may have to take your arm.
Cut off my arm, and I'll cut off your head.
Or, I could treat the wound with the poultice of lamb's foot and agaricus root. You'll be swinging your sword again in no time.
Fine. Be quick about it.
There's so much blood.
9 dead hares will do that to you. What's that?
It's just... I thought we lost the battle.
Mouthy one, ain't you? Better watch that tongue of yours. Your mother may be Nightshade's pet, but you're nothing to me, or anyone else.
Please, hold still. This is going to sting a bit.
They trapped us. Bastards can't win in a fair fight, so they play their games.
Banyan said that you should use any advantage.
Banyan? Psh, you sound like that drunk Oxalis. Always rambling about Banyan and his precious book of tactics. Wise warriors avoid the battle and be like the river, always moving. Book is useless as him. Couple of worthless relics.
There. All patched up. The burning shouldn't last much longer.
Gonna give you a bit of advice, girl. Stick to your herbs and your books. Leave the warring to the books. You hear me?
Of course.
Oh my. Well, aren't you just the bravest? Gliding around down here with your satchel and your smile, painting these dingy halls with the light and colour of youthful abandon.
Excuse me?
No need for excuses. Fern, daughter of Orcha and Bailey. Though, I would be careful were I you. Some can admire a blooming violet from afar, never treading too closely, lest they snap the delicate stalk underfoot. Others, well, let us just say, beauty reminds them of their own warts, and they cannot abide that.
I was just healing his wound. My mother sent me.
His wound? I am certain I don't know to whom you are referring. I was speaking in generalities, my dear. Just a scrap of wisdom to fold up and tuck deep in the recesses of your heart, so to speak.
Okay. Well, I should be going.
Of course. We wouldn't want to keep our chief mender waiting, would we? But first, I wonder if you might grant me one exceedingly small favor. Just a bit of kindness for a weary soul. Tell me, what do you think of the attack on the Hare's Clade at Stormbreak? It is fruitless. Oh, my. Perhaps you are truly a leader born under the waxing moon. Please, do explain further.
Why? I'm just a simple doe. What insight could I possibly have on the warring of bucks?
Because I asked you. If you'd like, I can escort you to your mother's home and we can speak along the way. We go back, the chief mender and me. I'd enjoy a cup of her famous tea and a long chat.
No, thank you. It's just... We've all heard stories of the Thorngate since I was a kid. No one has ever defeated the Hares in their own warren. Not even Nightshade.
Astute observation. Few would dare to be so honest. And why do you think they have never been defeated? Poor leadership. Our warriors are weaker, All of the above, perhaps.
Who can say? Perhaps only those who've attempted to conquer them and failed. I'm no warrior.
Perhaps you have never swung a sword, but you speak as one who has. Strong, assertive, cold. Qualities sorely lacking in Moonbriar. Now, run along home, Fern, daughter of Orcha. We will speak again soon.
Fern, the Conclave will be starting any moment. Where have you been?
Healing Healing Ragwort, just as you asked.
Who hurt you? Was it Hogweed? Oh, he's been getting too aggressive. I'll speak to Ragwort about this.
No, please don't talk to anyone.
Well, then what is it? It isn't like you to be so glum. What do you mean?
When I was seeing to Ragwort, he was bragging about slaughtering hares. He was proud of it. Proud of us going to their home and killing them. My blood is still boiling at the thought of it. I wanted to run him through.
Fern Mossfair, how could you say such a thing? We are healers. We have sworn an oath.
An oath to aid and protect rabbitkind. What is so complicated about helping these monsters? We should be fighting them. Maybe then we could actually aid and protect rabbitkind.
Light of the Illuminator, you're a stubborn one. Oh, the gods have seen fit to judge the recklessness of my youth by passing this curse onto you. You are old enough to remember the night Moonbriar burned. The destruction of the remnants who resisted. The male kits cast into the Ice Springs River. Your brother was... I swore then.
Mother,
You do not think before you speak. I swore fealty to him that night. To spare your brother. To heal and aid Nightshade and any who followed him. It is the only reason Wolfberry still lives.
I didn't know.
I've committed my life to putting you on this path. The path of the Mender. A path which has not only saved the lives of many within Moonbriar, but one which has also saved this family. You fall under my protection. As long as I am Chief Mender and you are training to take my place, you will be safe.
I just want to do what's right. I want to protect our family, but I cannot stand idly as other Warrens are crushed as we were. Someone has to stand up to him.
Fern, listen to me. The best way to protect the weak, to protect your brother and sister, is to become Chief Mender after me.
I just don't know if I can be.
You don't have to decide now. Once you have completed your training, we will discuss it. But now is not the time. Promise me you'll at least consider what I've said.
Yes, Mother. I promise I'll think about it.
Thank you. I know you'll see the wisdom in my words. I do not speak them idly.
Mother, there's something else I need to talk to you about. It's about Salvia.
Salvia? What about her?
I know you want to protect her privacy, but it's important we talk about this.
I've never concealed anything from you. Now, what is this about? No, I'm afraid I do not. What are you speaking of?
Salvia's fits.
Salvia told you she was having fits.
Well, I didn't actually ask her.
Then who told you?
I promised I wouldn't tell. I'm sorry. I just don't want to get anyone in trouble.
I know we've had our struggles, but we've never kept secrets from each other. Cousinia? I don't know why Salvia would confide in her.
Aren't they both under Nightshade's direct protection?
Yes, and that's precisely why Salvia wouldn't confide in her. Cousinia fears Salvia because she is now of kit-bearing age. Don't you see? Cousinia is at risk of losing her privileged position in his harem. I'll look into this more. Quietly and carefully.
Thank you, Mama.
There's one more thing. I need you to speak to your sister. She needs to abandon this idea of being the Clade muralist.
I've spoken with her about this. You know how she is, though.
Believe me, I know better than anyone. But please, will you speak to her? Convince her to give up this foolish pursuit. It will only bring unwanted attention to our family.
I'll do my best. Celine, I just spoke with Mother. You must... What is it? What's wrong?
My painting! It's gone! I just finished it. I was going to show it to Asta, and when I got back, it was gone!
Celine, this is important. Who took it? Who did you tell about the painting?
No one! I wanted it to be a surprise.
You told me. You must have told others.
Just you. And Asta. And Mol asked what I was going to use the paints for, so I told him too, and...
It's okay. I'll help you find it, okay? But for now, I just need you to stay here.
Stay here? I can't! I need to find it!
If you stay, I'll bring you some of those scones you like so much. We'll have chamomile tea and scones, just like we used to.
That's really sweet of you. But I'm not sure I can enjoy them while my painting is missing.
I'm sure you'll be feeling better once you have a warm cup of tea in your paws.
Thanks, Fern. You always know what's best.
What was on the painting anyway?
Nothing. Just the story of Lepiridai and the Illuminator.
Which one, Celine? After the first culling?
It's one of my favorites. I found this shimmery grey for Lepiridai's fur. It's perfect.
Oh, Celine.
What's the matter?
We'll talk about this later. I need to get to the Great Hall now. Just stay here.
Okay. I'll wait here. And Fern, thanks for always looking out for me.
I'll see you again soon. I promise.
There you are! Almost missed it. Nightshade arrived a bit ago.
You seem excited.
Who, me? Not at all. Well, maybe a smidge. He hasn't addressed the whole Clade in... I don't know how long. Oh, hang on now. He's starting.
Friends, citizens of Moonbriar, it warms my heart to address you. For we do not gather today only to revel in our recent victories against our enemies. No. Today marks a momentous anniversary worthy of celebration. For 15 years have passed since our clades were united. 15 years of peace and prosperity. No more infighting. No more division. The fox and the hawk have been sent scurrying back to their lands.
complete madness. Does he think we're all blind to his wars and conquests?
Hang on now. I can't hear him.
That despite this unprecedented time of peace and plenty, there are malcontents slithering in our midst, dissenters, traitors to all rabbit kind. These defectors don't meet us bravely on the field of battle. They're cowards who slink in the shadows and peddle dangerous words, poisonous ideals. And I am sad to say, my friends, that they are everywhere. They've insinuated themselves into our very homes, rotten threads woven into the fabric of this society.
Nettie, I don't like where this is going.
What do you have to worry about? You always follow the rules, don't you?
There is one lie more insidious than all the others, more harmful to our society, a threat not only to our way of life, but our very existence. The culling. Since the dawn of our kind, it has been accepted as inviolable truth, as inevitable as the spring rains, as necessary to our survival as the crops that nourish our bodies. Lies! In truth, it is no more than a fatalist myth, a fable that kept us in its thrall for aeons. It offered us comfort for our slaughter, predation, and disease, a platitude. It was right. It was natural. It was as the Illuminator intended. When I formed our glorious union, I put to rest this lie. Or so I thought. It has reared its ugly head again. But do not fear, my friends. My concern has ever been for your safety. My Minister of Wisdom has traced these threads. Today we shall pluck them from our midst.
We have found scatterings of a handbill. The Seed Reborn. It is illegal contraband, and all those in possession of it will be punished. For now, the following individuals shall be held for questioning. Cranesbill Birch, Redbud Holly, Sourgrass Holly, Hardmantle Stonecrop, Lobelia Hosta, Bluestem Smoke Tree, Celine Mossfair.
Celine? Oh God. That is impossible. Hey! Hey!
Fern, keep your voice down. There must be some sort of mistake. We'll sort this out.
There is no seed reborn. In me, that vicious cycle is ended. I am the last seed. Rest assured, these enemies of peace shall be punished, their poison leached from Moonbriar. Those responsible for creating this abomination, for corrupting our youth with this seed reborn filth, know that we will find you. These candles of dissent shall be snuffed out.
A darkness takes root in the warren. But Moonbriar alone does not suffer. Elsewhere in Iberus, rabbitkind has been stricken. Grain rots on the stalk, and fruit falls from the trees, leaving larders bare and stomachs aching in want. As always it has been, this bitter affliction has been wrought on those who least expect it. Upon whom shall the culling fall first? As the fear takes hold in their bones, and the young kids wail with hunger, the Angorans look to the sky and lament. The Great Culling has begun.